Oh, that's a little loud, Mr. Dueck. Oh, well. Today we're going to be learning how to use the graphing calculators. So you want your graphing calculator out. In particular, what you want to do is go Menu, and you want to find your way to the TVM menu. This is the financial menu. You can see there's a dollar sign. I don't know where it is on yours. On mine, it's option C, but navigate your way there with the arrow keys, or if it has a letter or a number, you can press that on your calculator, and you want to get to this screen here. You all have this screen, I think. What kind of interest are we doing? Compound. What do you think I want to hit for compound? Now, the way your calculators are set up is often along the bottom row, they'll have tabs that line up with the function keys, which I really like, actually. This is why I like these. Someone in this class had a TI graphing calculator, and I said, trust me, this one's a little easier to navigate around. So we're going to go F2 for compound interest. Okay? And then just temporarily put it aside. And what we're going to ask ourselves today is, what happens if instead of just borrowing or investing money once at the beginning and withdrawing it at the end, what if you're doing multiple payments or multiple investments? Now, one way to do it would be every time you do a payment to do a recalculation. But if you're doing a 25-year loan and you're doing a payment every month, that would be 25 times 12. You'd be doing that calculation several hundred times. I don't want to do that. So we're going to use technology. So here's the question here. It says this: determining the future value of an investment involving regular deposits, or if it's a loan, involving regular payments. Darva is saving for a trip to Australia in 5 years, and she's going to put $500 into her savings account every 6 months. This is a much more realistic question because, Tiffany, this is how most of us save our money. I chip in a couple $100 a month into my savings, or I chip in a couple $100 a month into my dream fund or whatever. Or if it's a loan, you pay monthly payments or bi-weekly payments. So she's going to deposit $500 into her savings account at the end of each 6-month period. The account earns 3.8% interest compounded semi-annually. I would probably choose to underline the word semi-annually just to remind myself that I need to take that into account. How much money will there be in the account at the end of 5 years? Okay. Oh, and how much of this will be interest? Well, the interest is going to be final amount minus however much I invested, which is going to be $500 twice a year times 5 years. We'll get to that. We need to kind of figure out what each of these things means on our calculator. So what's the first letter that appears? N. I've done a little chart here. You can do just a nice wide little table, but I've done mine typing. There's a little N. What else appears in the next below it? Capital I percentage. What's the square below that? PV. Below that is payment. Probably figure out what that one means. Below that is FV. Below that is P/Y. And I think I got more than that, Mr. Dueck. C/Y. Okay. Here's what they mean. Some of these you know. What did N stand for? What did N stand for in our compound interest formula? Well, I got to be fussy. It wasn't always years because it was the number of times compounded total. So it's going to be the number of compound periods. This is why I was saying leave a space or whatever. By the way, if you want to put the number of compound periods next to the letter, you can. I'm trying to do this so I can print this up, or you can print this up at home and get a nice little organized chart. Okay. What do you think I percentage might stand for? Okay, this is the interest rate, and this is per year. Your calculator will do the dividing for you based on the compound period, so you don't need to, on your calculator, divide by 4 if it's quarterly, or divide by 12. So this is going to be interest rate per year, or annual interest. You know what? Let's call it annual interest rate. That sounds better. Take a guess. What do you think PV might stand for? Present value. What you're starting with. Sometimes 0, sometimes not. What do you think PMT stands for? Take a guess. No one, really. This is the only one that I glanced at and I went, I know what that means. How much you're paying off at a time, or how much you're investing at a time. The payment. Now, up until now, our payment has been 0. So you could redo all of the questions from the previous homework using this fancy schmancy calculator. Payment would be 0. So when you were asking, how do I find time, Erica? And I said, we're going to guess and check. Actually, this will do it for you more accurately. If PV was present value, what do you think FV was? What do you think P/Y might be? I'll give you a hint. The slash is per. Payments per year. In this example, since it's every 6 months, how many payments per year? 2, okay. What do you think C/Y stands for? What kind of interest is this? And again, the slash stands for per. Does that help you put it together? So it's how many compound periods per year? It's how many compound periods per year? So, if this is a test question and I say solve using your graphing calculator, this first column that explains everything, you don't need to show me, but what I would look for is these. Basically what I would look for is quickly write out that, and what you've put in. So that equals, all the way down to there. So let's go to the top here. In our question, n is the total number of compound periods. How many years? How many times per year? And on your calculator, can you put n equals 10, please? And then hit execute, the blue button. That's like an enter key to move down to the next line. What's the annual interest rate? 3.8%, and I think you're allowed to go 3.8. I think it does the percent into a decimal for you. Oh yeah, because it says as a percentage. That's why it's got the percentage symbol there, to remind you, don't decimalize this. What's the present value? How much is she starting out with on day 1 in her account? This is a trick question. 0. Nothing. Right? Oh. 0. What's she paying every month, or sorry, every payment? How much? 500? Don't hit enter. 500, hit enter on this one, Mr. Dueck. What's the final value? Isn't that what this question is asking us to find out? Isn't it? So just leave it as a 0 for now. Come back to it. It's not 0, but the calculator is going to fill it in for us. How many payments per year? It says every 6 months, yes? How many compound periods per year? How are we compounded? Semi-annually? Also 2? Okay, we've got everything entered in. What's this question asking us to find? Which button do you think I'll hit to find future value? F5. Why is it negative? By default, the calculator will assume you're borrowing money. So you'll have to just read the question, and Jake, if it's investing money, just ditch the negative in your answer. In fact, you'll never say negative. You'll say either owes or gain or earned, but your calculator is going to give you a negative answer here. The final amount is going to be $5,449.90. Okay. Let's call that part A, and that is that right there. But there's also a part B right there. How much of this will be earned interest? How can I find the interest? Let's see. The final amount take away how much she put in. Now, how much did she put in? Not 500 bucks. It's going to be 500 times twice a year times how many years? You okay with that? By the way, I think that's 5,000. I think it's because 5 times 2 is 10 times 500. It's 5,000. So it's $5,449.90 minus 5,000. And if you couldn't do it in your head, you could do it to your you could just do it on your calculator. At least most of us could. $449.90. That's the interest. Is that okay? So let's play with our calculators. Let's see what we can now handle. Example 2. Comparing a regular payment investment with a single payment investment. Okay. Says Adam made a $200 payment at the end of each year into an investment that earned 5% compounded annually. Blake made a single investment at 5% compounded annually. At the end of 5 years, their future values were equal. So A asks, what's their future value? B asks, what principal amount did Blake invest? And C says, who earned more interest and why? Okay. Let's look at Adam and Blake, A and B, and let's go line down the middle of the page. And now what we're going to use our calculator for, we're going to go N equals I percent equals PV equals PMT equals FV equals P/Y equals. And this is what I would need to see for your work if you were using your graphing calculator. I would say, show me this, and let's see what we're going to enter. N is the total number of compound periods. It's annually, so once a year, and for how many years? What's the annual interest rate for Adam? What's the present value for Adam? What's he starting out with? I think at the very beginning, 0, and then he's chipping in $200. Oh, and that's his payment, $200. Final value, don't know. How many payments per year is Adam making? 1? And how many compound periods per year for Adam? 1? Okay. I'm going to enter this data into my calculator. Now, what do you think REPT stands for, by the way? What do you think this stands for? Repeat. So I want to do this again. I hit F1. I go back to the top, and I start typing 5, 0, 200. I don't know that. I'll put a temporary 0 there. 1 payment per year, 1 compound period per year. What do I want to find? Final value. Ignoring the, do you guys get 1105.13? Anybody else? You're all typing this in and following along. I ignore the negative. So, what was it? 1105.13. What did part A want me to find? Okay, that I can already answer part A. I'll do A down here. A, the answer is future value is 1105.13, and if you want to, in your notes, you can write from calc so that you remember how we found it, Jake. Okay, check. And you'll notice I haven't even started looking at the second guy yet because it says they have the same, does it say they have the same future value? Yeah, it says their future values were equal. And I had enough information to find it from the first guy. Emma, what's B asking me to find? What did Blake start with? Okay, we're going to do the same thing, except on our graphing calculator, we're going to put a 0 in for principal value, and we'll put 110513 in for final value. Let's see here. N equals 5. I percent equals 5. Present value equals don't know. How much is Blake paying each time? Or is he? He's doing a one-time? But I do know his final value. It's going to be 1105.13. Mr. Dueck? Yeah, Roy. Do we have to put a negative in here or not? Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm going to leave the negative off, and if I get a glitchy answer, I'll quickly go fix it. Payments per year. 1 or 0? Oh, he's getting paid interest. It's compounded annually. It's once per year. Compound per year. I'm not sure. I'm thinking this maybe should be a 0. I'm going to temporarily put a 0 here and see if it gives me a glitch. Let's find out. I don't think he's paying it per year at all. Let's repeat. Go to the top. 5, 5, don't know. No payment. 1105.13. Payments per year 0. Oh, press exit. Okay, it's gonna force me to put a 1 there. Now I know. 1. Oh, because how much is he paying each year? What did we write for the payment?
200.
No, what did we write here for the payment? What does it say for PMT? Can you see it, Jake?
0.
0. What's 1 times 0? What's 1 payment per year times 0? Still 0. Okay, so the calculator is saying you got to put something there because I got to be able to crunch the numbers. I don't know what you want me to do with it. Okay, fair enough. And 1. What do we want to find here? Present value. Do we get an error? Do we need to put a negative in? Oh, we get a negative back, but okay. We'll ignore the negative. It looks like Blake had to start with $865.90. $865.90, and again, we got that from the calculator. C. Justin, what's part C you want me to figure out?
Who earned more interest?
Oh, okay. How do I find the interest? Final amount, take away total payment initial amount. So let's do, is it Adam? Adam and Blake. I'll do Adam, then I'll do Blake. So Adam's final amount was 1105.13, take away. How much did he invest? Well, he was paying $200 once a year for how many years? I think 200 times 1 times 5 is 1,000. Yes? I think he invested $1,000. So on your calc, you know what, I can figure this out. I'm pretty sure it's going to be $105.13. How about Blake? He still had the same final amount, minus. He wasn't doing regular payments. He just dumped in a lump sum. How much? $865.90. 1105.13, take away 865.90. He earned $239.23. Oh. Is that okay, Connor?
Yep.
Why'd Blake earn more? What's the financial rule of thumb here? Why did Blake earn more interest? Very simple rule of thumb. Blake left more money in for longer. Because he left that $865 in from day one, he left more of it in for a longer period of time than just dumping in 200 every so. So the moral of the story is, if you can, the more you dump in, the more you save, the better at the end. If you're thinking about trying to save up for something and you're just saying, I'm going to try, I can put $200 away, I kid you not, make it 220. You won't miss the extra 20 bucks, but after 5 or 10 years, that'll add up. Or, you know what, I think I can afford $200. Go for 235, even bizarre amounts like that. That'll add up. It will. Turn the page. Okay. Example 3. Apparently we can find the interest rate of a regular payment investment. Now we found the interest rate last class. That required doing the 10th root or the 14th root or the 18th or some really big roots. Apparently we can do that here too. So we got Jeremiah depositing $750 into an investment account at the end of every 3 months. Interest is compounded quarterly. That's probably important. Term is 3 years. The future value is $10,059.07. What's the annual interest rate? Okay. Mr. Dueck. Yeah, Christine. How will I know whether to use my calculator or not on a quiz or a test? How will I know whether you want me to do it by hand? I'll say solve algebraically by hand in the instructions. Or I'll say use technology, use your graphing calculator. Here, since it's today's lesson, we're going to use the technology. Sean, you going to stretch? You going to be awake?
Yep.
Okay. We have n equals, by the way, my writing is so atrocious, if you don't mind, I'm going to go like this. N equals I percent equals, what's the next one on there? PV equals, then it's PMT equals, FV equals, P/Y equals, and C/Y equals. All right. I'm going to type so it's more legible. Silky, how many years? I did it again. It's Silka, isn't it? I'm sorry. I caught it this time. Baby steps. How many years, my angel? 3 years. And what's the compound period? So what's N? What's N, folks? 12? Right? 3 years, 4 times a year. What's the interest? Oh, I don't know the interest rate. Right? What's the present value? Unless it clearly says starts out with so and so much money, we assume 0. We assume you're starting a new bank account or a new savings account or a new investment. Jordan, what's the payment?
750.
Yep. Rachel, what's the final value or the future value? Yep. Payments per year. This is not how many payments per year? You got to read very carefully. Oh, it says every 3 months. Every 3 months is going to be how many times per year? 4 times per year. And the compound interest period, quarterly, also 4 times per year. You'll notice, though, I can do a different number of payments. Doesn't have to match the interest compounding period either. I can do whatever I want. Let's go to my calculator and type this in. Menu C. No, that's not what I want. Wrong button. Menu. There we go. Compound interest. 12. Don't know. Put a temporary 0. Starting out with nothing. $750. 10059.07. 4. And they want me to find the interest rate, which is going to be... Oh, I got a math error. Why did I get a math error? Why am I getting that? What? I think I heard Rosanna. What'd you say?
Well, mine worked.
Yours worked?
Yeah.
You didn't get a math error?
No, I got 9,000.
What did you type for the 12? What did you type for N? 12?
Sorry,
okay.
I'm at 12.
Okay. What did you type for, who else has worked? Anybody else? Okay. What did you type for FV?
Okay, what? Well, now it's just saying 9,000, but that's not what I had before. I put what you put.
You put,
Put that.
you put this?
Yeah.
See, this is the error. I actually have to put, because remember I told you it always assumes you're going into debt. I think I have to put a negative here. I think I have to put negative. I think now with a negative there saying, oh, that's how much money we owed. Then if I say find the interest rate, it's going to give me a lovely, I think that's supposed to be 8%. So if you didn't get that, now is the chance to check with me and ask. Is that okay? For the final amount, always put a negative because it's going to assume you're going into debt. But I did that on purpose to let you guys see the math error so you would figure out if you do get the math error what the most likely mistake was. Double check a negative for the final amount, final value. 8%, yes? I equals 8% from calculator. Any more? Oh, one more. One more or two more? Two more, okay. This is the one that banks use the most. In fact, probably this is the one that you'll be the most interested in as adults. Most of the time, when you're taking out a mortgage, you're not, I mean, you're interested in how big the total amount is, but really, Ellen, what you want to know is how much do I have to pay each month? Because that's how you're budgeting. You're not that interested in how much you're paying every year or every 2 years. It's okay, I get paid every month. How much are you going to be charging me each month? Can my paycheck cover my loan payment? So, determining the regular payment amount. Celia wants to have $300,000 in 20 years so that she can retire. And she's found a trust account that earns a fixed rate of 10.8% compounded annually. By the way, if you find something like that in today's economy, lock yourself into a 10.8% guaranteed return as long as you can and dump every spare bit of cash you have into that. Because in today's economy, 3% is pretty good. 10.8, you're like Donald Trump, okay? If she wants to retire in 20 years with $300,000, how much does she need to save at the end of each year? Okay. It's compounded annually for 20 years. So what's N? 20? Whoop. What's her interest rate? 10.8. What's the next one? Present value? She's starting out with nothing? Payment? Oh, we don't know. Final value. What does she want the future value to be? 300,000. Psst. Psst. Negative 300,000 because your calculator assumes you're borrowing money. Payments per year. Oh, 1 at the end of each year. Compound periods per year. 1. Okay. Repeat. N is 20, 10.8. Present value 0. Payment, I don't know. I'll put a temporary 0 there. Negative 300,000. Payments per year 1. What are we trying to find? A payment, which is going to be F what? F4? She's got to dump just about $4,781.09. By the way, the payment per year, to me, I would never do. I'd like to, if I was trying to do this, I want to know how much per month, because per month I can track. I don't know about you. I generally, at the end of the year, don't have $4,781.09 sitting around. I don't budget that well. And some of you will, and God bless you. Some of you, most of you won't. Or what a lot of people will do is when they get their income tax return, usually the government charges you about $2,000 or $3,000 more income tax than it's supposed to, because that guarantees that you'll file your income tax, so you're getting money back. And a lot of people will dump that money, because it's sort of like found money, even though technically it's not. They'll dump that into some kind of an investment or a savings account or something like that. Or some people will spend it on, toys and stuff. So 4781.09. $4,781.09. Okay. Oh, there's a part B. Part B. What does part B want me to find, Cole? How can I find how much interest? Oh, that's going to be the final value, which is what?
300,000.
Okay. 300,000. Take away how much money she dumped in. Now, how much did she dump in? Well, how much was each payment? 4781.09 times how many payments per year? Times how many years? 20. Okay. How much did she earn in interest? This one I'm kind of interested in. No pun intended. Get it? Interested? Tough audience. Take away 4781.09 times 1. I'm ignoring the times 1, Jake, if that's okay. Hey! She just about tripled her money. So if you go 4781 times 20, you'll find she saved about $104,000 to get that $300,000. That's the neat thing about compound interest for a long time. So $204,378.20. 204,378.20 $, comma. Last one. And Erica, this is our full circle because this is going to answer your question. How do you find time? Or how do you find N? So this is determining the term of a regular payment. How long do you need to leave the money in for? On Lewis's 20th birthday, he started making regular $1,000 payments into an investment account at the end of every 6 months. He wants to save for a down payment on a home. His investment earns 3.5% compounded semi-annually. At what age will he have more than $18,000? Okay. I think the number of compound periods is what I'm trying to find. Yeah? What's the interest rate? 3.5%. Present value, I think 0. Doesn't say that he started out with some money in the account already. Connor, what's the payment? Whoop. Try that again, Dueck. What do we want the future value to be? Nope. Careful. Sorry? Nope. Careful. Christine? Negative. Again, you'll probably get a math error. If you forget the negative and you get that math error, first thing you want to go check is, oh, did I make the final amount negative because it wants me to go into debt? How many payments per year? 2? How many compound periods per year? Is it also 2? Semi-annual, so also 2? Again, those two numbers don't have to be the same. Okay. Menu, compound, N. Don't know, put a temporary 0 there. 3.5%, 0, 1,000, negative 18,000, 2, and 2. What do you get for N? Okay. Now, that's N, the number of compound periods. N equals 15.78. That's not 15.78 years, because how many times per year are we compounding? What is the compound situation here? What does it say? Sorry? Semi-annually. So if I want to find out the number of years, the years is going to be this divided by 2. If it was quarterly, I'd divide by 4. If it was monthly, I'd divide by 12. But semi-annually, divide by 2, because N is not time. Why doesn't the calculator do it itself? Because N is defined, the way the program works, it defines it as the number of compound periods. It's not defined as the time. We got to do some arithmetic ourselves. Right, oh, this sucks. Look, 10 years ago, nobody had this. We did it all by hand, so oh yeah. Whiner.
What did the calculator do myself?
15.78 divided by 2. Are you getting 7.9 years? What's that really close to? How many years? Yeah. That's not what the question asked. The question asked at what age he'll have $18,000. Age 28. Because it's 20th birthday. Yes? Is that okay? I have some homework there to try, but this lesson took almost the whole class. Your homework is, please do the take-home quiz. Next class, we'll do this. I'm going to do a few more examples. We're going to combine next lesson and this assignment together because it's worth practicing with the calculators. Yep.
Sorry, how did you get the age 28?
What birthday? How many years? Yeah, too easy. I know. You were overcomplicating it.